Welcome back, gods and goddesses, to the Gifted Goddess channel, where I will be channeling my gifts to you, and I encourage you to learn and understand your gifts so that you can share them with the collective as they're intended to. So remember, if you found this channel, it's because you are in the process of ascension. You are essentially ready to stop living your life in autopilot and ready to take control. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. So let me get straight into the message so we do not waste any time. So I was guided to do a message from the movie Minority Report, right? So let's get straight into it. The movie is set in the near future in 2054. So that year can be significant for us, in the near future, and we don't know it yet. Perhaps some things are projected to be, systems are projected to be in place by the year 2054, new systems. I've been getting systems all throughout this download, so systems are definitely significant, whether it's the systems we have in place or the systems that will be put in place. Perhaps both of the two, out with the old in with the new is what I'm getting. So, in a nutshell, the movie is about three clairvoyants who their visions are used to prevent crime in this pre-crime kind of system that was created in DC. So they basically channel or have visions of crimes, and as long as the majority agree or their visions all line up, the three of them, a majority report is created, and the law enforcement then goes out to prevent the crime before it happens, right? So, kind of a preventative measure. Perhaps this is a system that they're looking to put in place in real life by 2054, right? Who knows? So, so they have these clairvoyants. There's three of them: Agatha, Arthur, and Dash. These names are actually derived from authors. So Agatha Christie, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sorry, let me slow down. And Dashiell. I forget his last name. Let me see. Dashiell. I forget it. So, anywho, if I see it again, I will tell you. Dashiell Hammett is the other author for famous mystery authors, right? So it's 440 when I'm saying this. So that could be significant. Someone could be 44. Well, now I'm seeing 441. You could identify with the 144. Definitely, if you are in this message, you identify with some type of special gifts, rarity, the chosen 144, perhaps your clairvoyance, a seer, prophetic messenger, if you will, right? Perhaps you have a children or three to four children who could be seers or clairvoyants, right? I channeled that in a message the other day. So you would have to go back to one of the other messages where that is significant. So you could have a child and you're trying to figure out, how to understand them because of their clairvoyance or the things that they say could be creepy, I'm hearing. But just know that the things that they say and see are things that you need to know. So always look to your children, listen to your children, right? Children know the way. That's been coming up in a lot of my readings. So somebody's children is very significant, right? So listen to the children. And even in this movie, these uh, clairvoyants were children of a drug user. So that could be significant for someone as well. But let's get back into the movie. They basically have this system that they think is perfect, right? And they've arrested hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, basically from these visions. What's interesting is they have kept these three powerful seers in this controlled environment, basically keeping them asleep as they siphon their dreams or visions for their own agenda, right? So even in the movie, there's a Department of Justice officer who comes, or agent, I should say. His name is Danny, played by Colin Farrell. He Pharrell is significant too. If maybe you're listening to Pharrell or you like Pharrell, but Pharrell is significant, maybe you identify with Pharrell. Um, Pharrell has synesthesia. So that's when you have like two senses going at once, like you see music, like you see colors with music, or you taste sound, right? So you can have that going on, right? So, like I said, you could be a part of this fun 144 group with in the gifted program, if you will, right? So you have gifts and you're maybe possibly learning to work with them. Perhaps you have children and you're trying to help assist them with their gifts. Whatever resonates, take it as it does. If it does not resonate, leave it for someone else. So there's two males and a female. They're called precogs. These clairvoyants are called precogs because they have precognitive, right, visions. So the government denies any flaws in this system and they refuse to recognize any imperfections until the main detective or officer, played by Tom Cruise, his name is John in the movie, until he's accused of a crime with this precog vision. 444, as I'm saying this. So you have protection if you are concerned. About having these gifts and expressing them, you are protected. So his name is John Anderton. I'm hearing your last name could be Anderson or John, whatever resonates for you. So now once he's I'm gonna say convicted, once he is accused of, your children are protected as well, is what I'm getting. Don't fear for your children, or don't fear your children. If they have these gifts, they will be and are heavily protected. Perhaps you can be concerned that the government will come in, like Men in Black Matrix, Men in Black suits type of situation. And now I'm getting the energy of Raising Beyond, where the child was gifted. He had powers, and the government basically brought him in for testing and experimentation and observation and things like that. So if that's one of your concerns, do not fear. You are protected. Your children are protected. Just be aware of that. I'm hearing just be cognizant of that. I keep getting a lot of cognizant, recognize, like cognitive activity is very significant. Um, very significant. So, anyway, now he's on a quest. Tom Cruise, John Anderton, is on a quest to prove this system is flawed because, of course, he wouldn't commit a crime, right? So he doesn't even know who he's supposed to commit this crime against. He's seen the person, but he doesn't know who this person is. So how could he, end up in a situation where he's trying to end this person's life? So that's what he is on a quest to figure out. He ends up having to run for his life, right? Because once it's in the system, the entire I was about to say government, the entire police force can see who is basically coming up in these visions. They're uploaded to a computer and it basically spits out who they need to go get preemptively before the crime occurs. So once his face shows up, now he's on the run. He's running from Colin Farrell. Danny Whitmer in the movie is his name. Those names can be significant for you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So in his running for his life, he basically goes to the creator of this said system with these precogs, right? A woman, Dr. Iris Heinemann, I believe was her last name. She tells him it is indeed flawed and there are minority reports. So there are times when the precogs visions do not align with each other. And they're basically, this is a variation in the story. So a minority report is created. So when the three of them have a vision that kind of sync up, that's the majority report. I'm getting so many different messages. I want to have to, so don't mind me if I pause. That's the majority report. The minority report is when one or more of their visions differ from each other, right? So that's a minority report is basically disregarded from the system and they don't take action on it, right? So they're kind of doing a majority rules situation, right? So that could be significant. Perhaps you are within an environment or system where, majority rules, right? And there's probably flaws in the system, right? What system doesn't have flaws or flaws in this environment? And somehow someone's vision or reality or recantation or variation of the story does not align with everyone else, right? So I'm getting a couple different things. Like perhaps you were a minority in a workspace or in an environment and you felt I'm like caged or restricted, basically put to sleep or kept not knowing what was going on around you, as opposed to the majority group who were kind of calling the shots or strings. Maybe the higher ups had this type of energy. Or there's there's definitely a type of variation in the story. My eyes keep coming to that. Some storylines are being told in these spaces and there's a variation. Other people are recalling things differently. So that could be significant. With you, I'm seeing taking control of your life, or, like, I don't want to keep saying storyline, but your life is your story, right? So with you taking control of your life and your story and possibly standing up for yourself, speaking up against said systems that were in place before you got there or people that were there before you got there, whatever it is, I'm getting you're a disruptor. You're a system disruptor. This is my second time doing this message. And that was coming through heavy. After I recorded the first time, what I was getting heavily was you're a system disruptor. So, you don't just operate with going along to get along. Like, you are someone who will question authority, who will question the systems they have in place to perhaps make things better, or just kind of to call into question how things have been operating before you have got there. Bees are significant. Every time I do a reading or channeling, there are always bees at my window. So that could be significant. So, like I said, he meets up with the creator of this system. She basically lets him know that she wasn't intending to make this. This wasn't what was happening. She was doing a study on children who were children of addicts, and come to find out they were having these nightmares. You have children that are having nightmares Try to console them the best that you can. I always advise you listen to their dreams and try to gain understanding, because you can have a child that's astral traveling in dreams. You can have a child who's having prophetic dreams. You can have a child who gets warnings through dreams. Just listen, right? Takes nothing to listen. Don't dismiss. Comfort them as you see fit, but definitely listen. I'm getting the name Dave, Davy, can be significant, or Gina. Gina? Gina? Okay. So she basically lets him know, like, these poor children were having nightmares, and what they came to find out was these weren't just nightmares, these were crimes that were actually about to take place. So they were prophetic dreamers or seers, right? As children. So that's when she decided to put their gifts to use. Now, this calls into question ethics, because now you're using their gifts for your agenda, right? It doesn't seem that they had any choice or say in the matter, as they were brought up in the system as children. I'm getting so many so many messages. Just, I'm gonna have to do another video. So he basically asked, like, how is there any way that this could be incorrect? Like, there's no way he's going to unalive somebody. Is there any way that this could be incorrect? And she basically says yes. There can be a minority report. There can be situations where they disagree. And while that's usually discarded from the system, it is secretly stored within the clairvoyant who's seen it. He asked which one. She said usually the strongest. He asked, well, which one is that? And she looked at him like, the female, duh. So feminine energy is significant. You can have a female child or children who are female, who are seers, dreamers, clairvoyants, have some type of gift, maybe this synesthesia. If they do have this synesthesia where I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, where they can smell color or see sounds, just know that that is a gift, right? Some of the most famous musicians, like Pharrell, has that going on. I saw Duke Ellington had that. They claim that Marilyn Monroe had that. They claim that Billie Eilish has that, right? So it's a gift. Don't be dismayed and thinking it's a disability. It can be used as a gift, right? Because those people have used it to their advantage. So perhaps that's significant. Learning how to use your gifts to help others. What I always, profess on this channel, right? Imagine we're all equipped with a special set of skills, right? To make the collective thrive in the best way that we can, to, create better systems in the world. And we need to all be operating in our special set of skills, our gifts, right? So if that is the case for you, somebody needs to get operating in their gifts. And you may have many. That's what I'm getting with this synesthesia. Okay, you may have many gifts and you're not sure which gift to use. Many of us have that struggle. I myself struggle with that. So pray about it and see where that takes you, right? What do you feel most called to do? What do you feel, which gift do you think can benefit the collective as a whole, that feels the most authentic for you, right? Because it shouldn't just be a system of giving, 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 and you not receiving or feeling appreciated and things being reciprocal to you. So, what gift resonates with you in a way that is the most authentic to where you enjoy doing what you do, right? So, for myself, I love sharing information. I love helping people. I love teaching people. What I learned is, some of us are gifted with abundance of knowledge. So something I learned about myself in the past couple years that I know that I have to apply is that I'm a fast learner, and I can get into a subject or topic and kind of digest it really fast, chew it up, and spit it back out in a way that is clearer or easier for people to understand versus the typical or standard way of teaching, right? So the way that you would learn it in school or from a teacher who's taught from a textbook on how to teach you it, I am able to take information and digest it in a way to where I understand it completely so I can explain it in a different form to where multiple people can get it right. So I can explain it in a number of ways. Okay, that's what I'm channeling, because one message for me is like 6 messages. So I got like so many downloads just from this movie. This is like the third download. The first thing I got from this movie is crazy. So we'll have to do another video on that. But just understand that you have gifts for a reason. You're being called to use those gifts. Don't allow others, okay? Don't allow others to use you for your gift, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And they are creating systems, have systems in place to benefit from your gifts, and you are not, right? And you're not using them in the way that you would see fit, right? Because perhaps you have a certain gift. And I always say, why don't people use people to their highest potential, right? So people will use people in a way, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but people will use people in a way to kind of get what they want from them, whether it's, I'm hearing fame, notoriety, attention, money, kind of like all the tangible things. But like if you use this person to their highest potential, right, for their special set of skills, you would get much more than what you're getting, right? So you kind of being slick and sly really undercuts what you could be getting by working with this person operating fully in their gifts, right? So just take me, for example, really quickly. I'm a very intelligent person. So it would behoove you to use me, not in a negative way. Everybody's used for something, right? You don't want to be useless. You always want to be useful in some type of way, right? Because other people will be useful to you. People might use me in situations to, be the trophy on the arm, or be the, partner that kind of takes care of everything, right? When you could be using me as the brainiac that I am to fuel and funnel systems and create things with you, right? So just throwing things out there, catch what you can. That probably pertains to someone. So anyway, the precogs are kept in this enclosed environment, and they even say it helps if you, I'm seeing 303 on the timer, so 33 is significant. You could be master teacher number 33. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It was just 23:34 on my time when I said this, so 234 is significant. Things are going in alignment. Now I have 2, 3, 4, 5 on the timer. So you're in alignment. Things are going as they should be. Do not be dismayed if they're not going the way that you expect them to be, right? So back to the movie, because we got kind of all type of ways. But this system basically with these precogs, these clairvoyants, has come under scrutiny because what is their quality of life? They are kept in these places. They're kept sedated or they're half conscious so that their energy and visions can be siphoned without their consent. 304 is significant. I see that almost every day. So that could be a confirmation number for you. You might need to look up angel number 304. Okay, let me look it up. I'm being called to look it up for you. So let's get a quick synopsis of what 304 is. 304 area code, West Virginia, Charleston. So that could be significant. Florida, California. I'm getting all different types of places. So perhaps you live there. Oh, okay. That's what I was supposed to get you. The places. So it comes out basically that the cop in question, John or Tom Cruise, was set up. So a lot of betrayal in this movie as well. He was betrayed by the director or the boss, the leader, the overseer, who ends up being guilty of unaliving one of the precog's mother in the beginning, right? In the end, he ends up asking for forgiveness before unaliving himself to avoid prison, or he didn't want to prove the system to be wrong, right? So his only choice was to end himself, right? And in the end, the precogs moved to an undisclosed location to live in peace. Something about halos are significant. Perhaps you see halos. Something about Halo is significant. That's a movie, ain't it? I never watched that. Something about Halos is significant. If you know what that is, put it down in the chat. I never watched that movie, but I can see like a movie clip, like the poster, the title thing. So some of the things that were significant when he met with this creator, some of the things she said kind of stood out to me. She said every creature on earth is focused on its own survival. So basically, when you're backed into a corner, you will be forced to take control of your life. You will be forced to either stand up or cower down, and most people will fight for survival. So perhaps you were put in that situation. This is given very much workplace energy, with systems, perhaps familial systems as well. I was really hoping I would get a different result from this download, but this is where it's going. So perhaps you experienced that recently, where you've had to stand up against systems and circumstances and people in place who have not been operating in a way that is integral or that aligns with your moral compass, right? So if that is the case, do not worry, you are protected. And just know it's always the right time to do the right thing, right? So don't be dismayed if you had to kind of question authority or leave situations and circumstances that no longer serve you. There's a big confirmation. Things happen for a reason. You could have been sent into that system to be the system disruptor, right? Intentionally. It was never intended for you to stay there permanently. It was intended for you to call out the things, people, circumstances that were not in alignment with the highest good of whatever community they were serving, right? Because there were big ethical questions all over this movie and how they were using these people, using their gifts to the advantage of the system, right? To the advantage of the matrix, to the advantage of their agenda of, I'm getting like hero complex. So you could be dealing with somebody that had a hero complex, a savior complex, a God complex, right? And using people's gifts to funnel that egoic type of leadership or mentality or look is what I'm getting. So someone all about perception, right? Or how things are perceived. So draining you dry, because if you saw the movie, you saw when Tom Cruise took Agatha out I keep saying Tom Cruise's name is John in the movie. When John took Agatha out into the real world, right, she could not take it. She could barely move. She was overwhelmed. Sensory overload is what I'm getting. Somebody can have sensory overload where everything's too much. A lot of people experience that. I've experienced that too, where too everything everywhere all at once is going on. It's too loud, it's too cluttered, it's too colorful, it's too bright, it's too much going on. So you have to dial down or remove one of the senses. This is given as a synesthesia again. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're having that sensory overload, remember you can dial it down and dial it back, right? You don't have to don't just stay in that energy of being overwhelmed. Turn down whatever noise you can turn down. Clear out any clutter you can clear out. I'm hearing change the smell, enhance the smell. So if you have the clairalience where you're sensitive to smell, that's something I deal with too. So smells could be very significant for you. Just create an environment where it smells better. I'm getting incense. I'm getting sage. You probably need to clean or clear your energy if you're getting overwhelmed as well. So that could be significant for someone. You could be saging now or feeling called to, yes, this is your confirmation to sage. Use the Palo Santo. Use whatever you need to. You know what I also saw too? There are sage incense. I saw them on Temu. I was about to say YouTube. I saw them on Temu. So that could be significant for someone. You could, if you're too sensitive to okay, I see. If you're too sensitive to the sage smell of smudging with sage, try the incense instead. Frankincense and myrrh is also a good energy clearer. You can get the mist. You can use Florida water. There's a multitude of different things. Just having a clean house and a clean environment cleans the energy as well. So you want to do that before saging and doing all the things, right? Because the things need to be clear. A lot of clear coming up. So you have clairs. You can be working with clear quartz. A lot of clear has been coming up for me, and it has to do with this definitely message because we're talking about clairvoyance. You can have any of the clairs. So you could have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, clairaudience, which is clear hearing. So you're able to hear and download messages. Clairsentience is clear feeling, like you have that gut feeling of something going on or something wrong or something right or something coming, right? You have claircognizance, where you have clear knowing. You just know. You don't know how you know, you just know. Um, you'll hear people say, I've said this before, like I just know, like my brain just knows. It's like my brain has its own brain that thinks for it, and then they tell me 3333 when I said that. My brain has a brain, right? And my brain's brain thinks about it and tells my brain, and then they just tell me what they came up with. Like I just know stuff and I don't know why. I have no idea. Like I'll be sitting in a class and the answer will just blurt out and I'm like, oh shit, how did I know that? You have that going on. Clairalience is the clear smelling. So you smell things, you're hypersensitive to smell, or you smell things. I don't want to say that aren't there, but yeah, they aren't there. Like you might smell cigarette smoke and nobody's smoking. You might smell a certain perfume that reminds you of a certain ancestor, mom, loved one, relative, and they're not in the room. That perfume's not in the room. All of a sudden, you just smell that. Clear smelling, right? Clear gustance is clear tasting. So, baby, I don't know what that's about. You taste stuff. Oh, okay, you get a taste. Okay, so you taste, like you could be tasting color, or you taste certain tastes in your mouth that you didn't eat. Like Okay, like, have you ever just had a taste of, I don't know, Popeye's chicken in your mouth and you haven't had Popeye's chicken and there's no real reason for you to have that taste in your mouth, right? Right. Or I had, oh, so okay. It's coming to me now. So I was tasting like a strawberry shortcake situation. And I'm like, I haven't had that. My typical go to sweet is chocolate. So there's no, like, I don't even know why that would be on my mind. That could be significant for someone. Maybe you just ate that. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed it because it tastes good. You could have clairtangency where you touch things and you get an impression from touching things. So you touch a table and you can feel the energy of the person who last was at the table, or you touch a person's hand, right? And you can clearly see like their future or their what's deeply resonating with them or what's sitting on their subconscious, right? Kind of like the movie Eve's Bayou. That was in another message that I just did. So this is seeming like a continuation, just a message of having the clairvoyancy, using your gifts as you are intended to, not letting people use you or your gifts for their advantage, but you choose how you want to use them. I'm getting 305 for time or area code. Um, so, and it's 514. That could be your birthday. So any of that can be significant. Or you can have clear empathy, like clear emotions. So you are a super empath, right? You feel emotions deeply. And I'm not talking about when someone's sick, you feel that. I'm talking about you can feel the energy in the room when you come into a room. You can feel the tension, you can feel the heat, you can feel the love, you can feel the different vibrations and energy, right? You're tapped in people's energy. Someone could tell you they're perfectly fine and had a great day, and you know there's something deeper that they're not saying, right? Any of those can be significant. So I'm definitely being guided to do another message just on gifts. This is the Gifted Goddess program. So the next video I will do, um, will be like, let's do like a gifted school, right? The gifted program, I'll probably call it, right? To discuss different gifts that you might have and just working with them and learning to understand them, right? Because as we're all on this journey, you know, different things are new to us. So while you might be clear that you have certain gifts, there might be other gifts that you are unaware of. And again, I'm being called to children. Um, Perhaps you have children who have gifts and you're not sure how to help them, right? Or you're not sure what they're kind of dealing with or going through. You know, society will tell you to get them an autism test or take them down to the local mental health clinic and get them evaluated, right? You can do that, right? But what I would advise is you kind of listen to what they say. Okay, I'm being guided to divulge too much information about myself that I hate doing. As a child, I saw spirits. As a child, I had clairaudience, right? Now, I told my mom that I saw the spirit. I, to this day, can see what it looks like in my head, right? And I was young, so I explained it in a way. I just said they had on a red Santa Claus suit and flew out the window, right? Um, I'm still trying to figure out, was that like a fae? Was that like a guardian angel, a guiding spirit, whatever it was, right? I told my mom, I told my family. They were kind of shocked and horrified. I remember that. I had to be like 4, right? So that age can be significant. You have a 4-year-old, 4 to 6. Wow. So, yeah, I told her. They were kind of shocked and appalled, right? So I didn't tell them anything else. Here I am telling the whole goddamn internet. I've never admitted this out loud, but as a child, I could hear things. And I never, so I never told anyone, because the first time I told them something, everyone was kind of shocked and horrified. I still don't remember what they did after that. Who knows? They could have took me to be evaluated or not. I was so young, I don't remember. I'm just thinking, like, God forbid that's in a chart somewhere. What's interesting is later on in life, I would begin to work with the mental health community and experience people who describe what is commonly called delusions or hallucinations. And it didn't dawn on me until, well, I knew something was kind of up then, because the kind of visceral reactions they give, you know that it's real for them, right? So regardless of what I got going on, whatever this person heard, saw, felt is real to them, right? So it wasn't until I'm on one of my clocks, it says 3, 2, 1. I've been getting countdowns all day. Sorry for the long message, but I'm glad to share this. So this is real for these people, right? When you hear things, they see things, it is clear that it's reality to them. So what we might not understand and try to medicate away, these things are still happening. I've been called to discuss a person who made it a point to, it's a young black male. He made it a point to take his medication every day at the same time, right? And 41, 44, as I said that. So I would ask him, he kind of made a joke of it. He would come in singing, and I would be like, what is going on? Like, why do you do that? Why do you come in here singing about this medication? Like, what is this? And he's like, you know why I do that? He said, I come in here and I take my medication every day at the same time, every day. I never miss a dose. And, he would make sure to show us he wasn't cheeking medication and he was actually swallowing it. And he said, I do that because I want, basically, it's a way to prove that I'm not tripping. What I'm hearing, I'm hearing. What I'm seeing. And now that I have gone through this experience, having my own kind of spiritual awakening, my own third eye opening, my own, things going on. He was a seer. Man, and I wish I could talk to him today, because what he was saying isn't far-fetched, right? He was, he would say that he could see the synchronicities and everything, and he knew, like, he saw this and he knew it meant something more. So when you're a seer, things stand out to you and you have no idea why. That something is like screaming out to you, right? So that could be significant, something being called to your attention and you don't know why. Unicorns, bows, or smooth. Somebody's daughter is really going through this. JoJo, I'm seeing. JS initials could be significant, because now I'm seeing like a unicorn and bows and rainbows and like all the girly things, all this pink stuff. Somebody's daughter is really experiencing this. And what I want you to understand is, I want to do a video on all the gifts. Maybe this child is an astral traveler in dreams. You just don't know what this person is experiencing. And you have to remember that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So the bodysuit is just the physical vehicle that we need to get around and move around, right? Like, there's things going on a spiritual level that are definitely happening. So keep that in mind when dealing with your children, dealing with yourself, dealing with these gifts, dealing with these clairs, dealing with everything that comes with it. Don't worry about the men in black. They'll be all right. It's so many people now speaking on this stuff. It's so out in the open now. It's no longer taboo. So don't feel ashamed in any type of way. Be like Pharrell, right? Learn to use these gifts to your advantage and to the advantage of the world. Pharrell has created some of the dopest music with the dopest energy out, right? If you just look at his music catalog, it's amazing. And he sees colors in music. So that's how he's able to tune in to see if it's the right energy. Is it evoking the right color and the right sound and you see what I'm saying? So he used his gifts to his advantage. And I'm being guided to assure you, oh my God, this is bringing me to tears, that your baby, your daughter, will use her gifts, can use her gifts to the greatest advantage of herself and others, right? She has that gift for a reason, and it's meant to help other people. So I'm going to log off there because the video is long enough. I just saw 45, and I don't want to cry on here again. So, have faith that she was gifted those gifts for a reason, and she will come into knowing and to understanding with the proper support, love, compassion with the people around her. She will come into understand, and ancestors. I'm getting heavy ancestors in the energy who can guide her along the way, right? She would just need your support and encouragement and grounding, right? So you would know if she's getting too much, I want to say, beside herself, out her norm, or to, get her grounded, take her to the playground, take her, grounded in earthly things so she's not too far into spiritual things, right? That is the message for today, guys. I hope something resonated with you guys. I'm being called to see or share that the precogs in the movie at the end were moved to live into an undisclosed location to live in peace. So know that there will be peace. It can be a peaceful resolution to that work environment situation, these systems, and I'm hearing doctrines that are put into place. Peaceful resolutions will be coming about. We'll see that here in the near future. Halo is definitely significant. I'm probably need to go see what that's about. And just know that I get it. Okay. Operating in your gifts is what brings you peace, is what will bring you home, I'm hearing. So if you've been longing for feeling connected or feeling like you need a place of home, it resides within your gifts. And, when you share what's within you, that saves you. And when you don't, that kind of becomes your detriment because it's going to shake and tear loose any way that it can to get out of you. That's the message. Please go in love and light. Please remember to operate in your gifts in the highest of integrity. Do not use them to be harmful or hurtful, neglectful, or tear people down. We want to use our gifts to enhance our lives and the lives of others that we touch, communities that we touch, right? To affect the system in a positive way, right? To affect this matrix in a positive way. We have the capability, the energy to shift this thing into a more positive space. I will not stop preaching that. You will hear me say that all the time. 329 is definitely significant. You know somebody with that birthday, you have that birthday. It's a male in your energy with that birthday that really loves you. With that being said, their name could be Ace. With that being said, go in love and light. Search for those gifts. Search within. Be the best you can be. And until next time, peace, guys.